Kelsey-Davis and Kelly Johnson, they're co-authors of the book that Bonnie is holding right now from Ave Maria Press, titled The Caregivers Companion, a Christ-centered journal to nourish your soul. And they are with us now on Skype. Thank you so much for being with us, ladies.
We're so excited to be with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, during the holiday season, people experience all kinds of stresses, and that is just elevated this year, too. But it's also, for caregivers in many ways, it can be over the top as well. So if you could tell us a little bit about some of the ways you suggest for spiritual well-being for the caregivers.
Absolutely. I think this year we have really a layering that's going on. So you have the holidays coming up and all the stresses that would normally pertain to that. And then you have COVID on top of that. And then layer the caregiving on top of it. There is a big deal coming up and a lot for people to deal with. And I think one of the most important things is for people to remember that Jesus took time to care for himself. And we can follow that model. He knew when he needed to pull back. He knew when he needed to have other people help him with things. He had the 12 disciples, a group around him. So I think he provides a model for us. And I think as we're looking at this layering that's going on over the holiday season, I think we can take a look at a couple of different things. And one of that is to begin to adjust our expectations. And that's true for whether you're a caregiver or not. Adjust your expectations this year. Things are going to be different. Maybe talk to your family. Pick one thing that's really important to each one of your family members and go from that. Anything else is gravy. But I think absolutely adjusting the expectations, and then also taking a look at maybe looking and reminiscing of past times. And our book talks about ways in which we can
build a memory bank.
And have that memory bank take a look at how we celebrate and how we have celebrated our different holidays.
Yeah. And as you mentioned, the layers of complexity are certainly going to be rampant this year. And the tolls of caregiving are multiple as well: financial, physical, emotionally draining, making caregivers themselves at kind of a high-risk category. What pragmatic suggestions do you make for caregivers in the book?
So we make a number of them. We talk a lot about planning, prioritizing, pausing in that process, and then praising God for everything that we have before us and with us. But my favorite is we ask caregivers to truly take a spa moment. And a spa moment is stop, pray, then act. And that spa moment will change your heart and your reactions to whatever situation is going on around you. We also have some other pragmatic tools that we offer within the book. And the journaling itself is a very pragmatic way to share your thoughts and feelings, to be able to look at those and come back to them and learn from them.
And there are 65 million Americans that are caring for loved ones. It's an amazing number, and a good percentage of them acknowledge that prayer life is important and helps them cope. And how can we help them find time and the energy to devote to essential practice of prayer?
I think today's reading, we saw that Jesus cleansed the temple, right? He went in there in righteous anger and cleaned out the temple. And I think God is asking us to clean out anything in our temple that is not oriented towards prayer. And so prayer absolutely is so important. And but how do you do that? And one of the things that we look at in the journal is all the way through, it's interspersed with prayer. And the prayers are written so that they pertain to the different topics that pertain to caregiving. So it helps someone understand that as they are caregiving, they're serving the Lord, and so that as you're going through your day becomes a type of prayer as you're ministering to another person. And so we help people see that your routine becomes a prayer, your day becomes a prayer. They're also to set up specific times to begin to pray, to realize that you're praying always as you're serving and ministering to another person, beginning to see how God enters into your day is a type of prayer. So there's many ways that we pray, and most especially with gratitude. And certainly as we're coming up to Thanksgiving, that idea of gratitude is so prevalent, and it's wonderful how we have that time to actually focus on that and pause and take a look at that.
That's great. I love the spa analogy because this morning I did tweet that self-care is more than a mani-pedi. So when you said spa, you got me a little nervous there. But you're not just the authors of this great book for journaling, but you're also established the Nourish for Caregivers organization. The website is amazing, so I recommend that everybody check it out. Tell us what folks will find there.
So the Nourish for Caregivers ministry is all about empowering and providing that support to caregivers through the gift of our faith, right? The resources that we have on our website are ones that are really designated to where you are, perhaps in that moment. If you're stressed, if you're concerned about your loved one's safety, if you just need to refresh your soul, those resources are there. We also have some pretty exciting things that have been happening. One of the blessings of the COVID-19 pandemic is that we learned how to go virtual fairly quickly. We accelerated. So we have house calls for caregivers, and there's information how you can join, where you can join other caregivers. We're just there for you. It's scriptural based, and there's time to share. And then we also have something called the Caregiving Wisdom Series, where we bring in experts who help us around things like family dynamics during this time of holidays, and as well, how do we remain united as family?
Those are great resources. I know we had my dad with us for 4 years. Those are all things, that are just so important and important for you to take the initiative to seek them out. Thanks so much for being with us. We encourage everybody to check out the website. You can get the book from the wonderful publishers at Ave Maria Press. Thanks so much for being with us, ladies.